Oh, hey, Wonder World. Happy motherfucking Tuesday. How the fuck you guys doing today? Coming in hot, and I got big D energy coming in for you guys today. Energetic frequency is at a fucking 9 today, and I gotta tell you, guys, I'm never a 9, okay? Seven is where this bitch lives, but today it is a 9. So, if you were looking for some big D energy, we got some coming in hot today because we are talking all about potency and why the fuck you need it and why the fuck this matters for your business, because this is a word that we hear all the fucking time, right? Potency. Okay. And it's something that all of the big hat manifesting girls are saying, and they're like selling it out of their little trench coats, right? It's like, you got to buy some potency. You got to buy some potency. Your content's just not potent enough. That's what they're saying to you all the fucking time, right? And you're looking at them like they're a little bit fucking crazy and thinking to yourself, what the fuck is potency? Like, what are you even talking about? Well, let's get into this and let's get into the more practical application of all of the things. So just say hey when you're popping on today because we have a roller coaster of a story. So I want to know who's here for the motherfucking tea today. You guys want some motherfucking tea today? You want some behind the scenes tea today? Because I've got some fucking piping hot tea coming in hot. Because guys, once upon a time, I almost found myself in a cult coaching program. And I know that a lot of you guys accuse me of being a cult leader, okay? But the thing about me is that you can leave anytime you want, okay, bitch? There's the door. Don't let it hit you on the way out. I'm not leading a cult. Like, I'm happy to see people that are not a good fit get the fuck out of here, right? Okay. And also, like, I'm not fucking taking any of the stuff that I'm teaching you and making it your problem or making it part of your identity or doing any of those things. Inside of my coaching containers, we're talking about free will. We're talking about self sovereignty. We're talking about interdependence instead of codependency. We're doing very highly ethical fucking things inside of this world. And if you want to be a part of that, fantastic. If you want to talk about unicorns and buttholes, awesome. But if you don't, that's totally fucking fine. And you don't have to be here. And no one is going to coerce you or beg you or do weird love bombing fucking things to try to make you fucking stay. If you don't fucking walk away, believe me, this bitch is not chasing after you, okay? Because I am not running a motherfucking cult. Just because I'm a little bit influential, just because I did something fucking new and interrupted the motherfucking pattern and I have people following me, just because I'm a leader doesn't mean that I'm a fucking cult leader, okay? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about what this actually looks like, because I got a very interesting call over the weekend. I got a very interesting call from someone I used to be in a coaching container with, who shared a little bit of the tea of what happened inside of this coaching container after I left. So let's talk a little bit about why I left in the first place. Okay. So once upon a time, I bought a six-figure coaching program, meaning that I paid six figures for it. Okay. More than 100K. Okay. I spent more than 100 grand on this coaching program. Okay. And it was with this woman who I went on her podcast months before I joined her program. I went on to her podcast because she came in here and she headhunted me. And she said, hey, I have a podcast and I bring on seven-figure earners. And we, like to just really get your episode out to people and, help you to build notoriety. And I felt very special. I was like, oh, that's amazing. Great. Like, I felt very seen. I felt very recognized. And so I went on to her podcast and I was very excited to do that. And so then that put us in contact. So we continued to talk in the DMs here and there. And there was a lot of like love bombing kind of energy, but it wasn't like crazy. Like, I've been love bombed by some fucking crazy ass people, you guys. Like, seriously, people using love bombing as their strategy for fucking getting clients. This is disgusting. Okay. It's disgusting. It's what narcissistic men do to us in relationships. And you shouldn't do it. Okay. Love bombing is gross. And so, like, I have people like send me DMs that are like so inappropriately like over the line, like, oh my God, I just love you and you're just so amazing. And I just feel like maybe we were like sisters in another life. Like, bitch, I don't know you. Like, get the fuck out of my DMs. Okay. Like, you doing that shit to try to close me into your coaching program is never going to work. So you might as well just fucking stop. All right. Like, I already lived that with my crazy fucking ex. I'm not fucking living that shit again. Okay. I know what love bombing looks like and I don't fucking do it. This woman was much more subtle. It was like genuine. It felt good. It felt like, oh, this person really sees me. I felt seen and I felt heard and I felt understood. And at some point, we got onto a call, right? Got onto that call and we had a really great conversation. And now looking back, I can see exactly what the fuck happened on that conversation. Is that I came in and I dumped out all my vulnerable things and I talked about, what I was struggling with and I talked about, what I was really looking for in a coaching program. And then she sold it all back to me, right? In a custom offer, which we teach too. We teach custom offers. But you know what we teach within our custom offers? that you sell what's actually there. You don't just make it up. Okay, so she fabricated a certain level of a story here for me. And she told me that she had two tiers of mastermind, and that one was like for like 9-figure earners, and that she had some like very high level people that were making, millions and billions of dollars over here. And then she had, this 7-figure container that would be a little bit more suited for me. But she told me that everybody inside of the container was making 7 figures. Not true. Not true. Not true. But she did tell me that, right? So she created a custom offer that wasn't actually true of what I was saying that I wanted. I wanted to be in the proximity of these other 7-figure earners. So I bought this fucking thing. Okay. And we all get to create our own ROI, regardless of what does or does not happen inside of coaching containers. And so I bought the fucking thing and I started with her. I had a really good start inside of, I mean, I already had, you guys, I've had a unicorn sales funnel in place for quite some motherfucking time. And so in the first couple of months, I had a $300,000 month, which, guys, this is not my first $300,000 month. I have done that many, many times before, right? It's not my fucking first rodeo. And so it was kind of one of those things where I was like, oh, this feels like an alignment, like things are working, like I'm feeling very potent, right? I'm feeling very much in that space. But a lot of the potency, you guys, comes from actually making the investment. Okay. So, like, in deciding to make such a big investment, a 6-figure investment into my business, of course, my potency expanded, right? It did that the first time too, when I made a $55,000 fucking investment into myself and into my business. I wasn't paying, like, I paid a coach, but like, guys, when you pay a coach, you're not paying a coach, you're investing in yourself. And so, like, I invested in myself. And so my potency expanded because I put that energetic frequency into myself and into my business. Of course, I expanded. Of course, my visibility went up because I was thinking highly of myself, because that's what happens when you invest. And so I did that. I created that investment energy. And, within the first, I don't know, it was 2 or 3 months, I had a 300K month, right? And so that felt really, really good. And I was like, this is totally working. And then I went on the retreat, which I paid extra for, by the way. So I went on her retreat and we went to Palm Springs. Okay. Now, some really, really weird shit happened in Palm Springs. And, looking back on it, I can definitely see the cult mentality of all of the pieces. And it was strange. Okay, it was strange, like Illuminati kind of level shit. We don't have time today to go into all of the pieces of this, right? We don't have time to talk about the Illuminati. And I don't want Beyonce to come after me and all that shit. So some weird shit happened there. Okay, and so I was very put off. And you guys, this was my first tinfoil hat experience. Like, I had no idea any of the shit existed. I had no idea about any of this kind of stuff, especially not in the coaching world. And I had my eyes opened to a whole different insidious layer of what's happening behind the scenes. And, I don't know how that shit goes, right? Like, I'm not going to pretend I know. I don't fucking know. Like, if you're going to ask me, like, I'll tell you what I do know, but I don't know. Okay. Nobody has contacted me. They haven't contacted me. I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. Right. Okay. So I got into this space and my mind was kind of fucking blown. But what I will tell you is that when we were at this mastermind, she did not feed us. Okay. Now, I know that if you guys have ever been to one of my events, right? If you've ever been to one of my events, what do we do the whole time? We eat, right? Because this bitch loves to eat. I love good food. I love providing my clients with a high level dining experience because I want you in those luxury vibes. I want you to eat really great food because really great food is good for your fucking brain. This bitch did not feed us. Okay. Like, we're talking about dinner being a plate, not a platter, a plate of like fucking shitty cheese and crackers. Like not charcuterie boards, okay? Like little kids cheese and crackers for dinner. I'm like, what the fuck? I have to go. Like, I have to eat. Like, I haven't eaten. I was like messaging my team, like, I'm freaking out because this bitch is not feeding us, right? The first day we went to a wolf sanctuary and literally did not eat. Like, there was no food involved in this. We drove 2 hours out into the desert to go to this wolf sanctuary. We were at this wolf sanctuary for like 4 hours, and then it was a 2-hour drive back. No food. No food in any of this shit. Okay. So then also she's keeping us up very, very late at night. Okay. This bitch goes to bed at 8:30. Okay. 8:30. It's dark outside. The lights aren't on. It's time for me to go to bed. Right. So I go to bed super early, but no, we're in her room. Okay. Because the entire fucking thing is hosted in her room. We're in her room till 12, 1 o'clock in the fucking night, working on these energetic things. Like, doing the best way that I can describe this, you guys, is like psychic Avengers. Okay, so the Avengers, right? Okay, so this is like psychic Avengers, and like, you're kind of like, is this real? Am I playing along? Do I know these things? You don't know. It's so fucking weird, and there's other people doing it, so you're like, okay, I'm sitting here watching all this stuff. Like, I mean, what do you do? right? You go into it, you lean in because you're trying to have a fucking experience. You're trying to figure out what the fuck is going on. But you know what we didn't talk about the entire mastermind that I paid fucking, I don't know, 10K for or whatever the fuck it was? Business. We did not talk about business. We did not talk about how to make more money in our businesses. We did not talk about money mindset. We did not talk about elevating to the next level. We played Psychic Avengers for 2 fucking days, locked in a fucking weird hotel room in Palm Springs. Okay. It was fucking bizarre, right? This woman also, screamed in the face of one of the other attendees. It was wild. You guys, it was wild. Okay. Like I have been with some very aggressive coaches, one of which being is Dan Henry. Okay. And Dan Henry has no motherfucking scruples. That motherfucker will tell you exactly what the fuck it is that you're doing wrong today. He will tell you. Okay. And he will be very aggressive about it, very to the point, and there will be no sugarcoating. Okay. And you know this about Dan because that's what you paid for in the fucking marketing. Okay. You saw him being an asshole and you're like, that's my asshole. I want to fucking pay this guy. I love Dan. Okay. And Dan is extremely fucking aggressive. This bitch made Dan look like a fucking kitten. Okay. Dan looked like a fucking kitten berating this fucking woman in front of all of us. It was bananas. It was absolutely insane. And you're sitting there going, oh my God, I would never, right? Like as a coach, you're like, I would fucking never, right? So I got home from this, and this is a fun little thing that my husband reminded me of this morning because I forgot about this part. Okay. I got home from this and they had put these little patches on us. And I completely forgot this, right? But like they put these little patches like on the backs of our necks. And like, guys did under some sort of like, I don't know, like a vitamin patch or like a detox patch or something like that. But Daniel was like, I'm pretty fucking sure that what that is I think it's called scopolamine, scopolamine. I don't know. You guys fucking Google it. But it's like, it's this patch that people use for like motion sickness. But then they kind of found out that there's another adverse effect of this patch. And that this patch is that it's actually like something that makes you super suggestible. And my husband was telling me that prostitutes in Brazil use this on like Johns, right? They use this shit on Johns to make them more suggestible and to extract all this fucking money out of them, right? Fantastic, fucking fantastic. Okay, so he's like, I'm pretty sure that that's what that fucking was. Okay, so fast forward to today, right? And why we're actually talking about this. I know that was a lot of backstory, but it was relevant, I promise. Okay, so I talked to one of the colleagues that was actually in Palm Springs with me over the weekend. Well, it turns out that I left this coaching program shortly after this, right? Because I was like, this bitch is fucking crazy. And then she went and tried to do another retreat that was going to be in Sedona. And I was like, I'm not going to that. And she like berated me, right? She like berated me for not going. And then like a couple of the other girls were not going to go to Sedona either. And then she freaked out and was like, no, like she posted this post in our private Facebook group, you guys. It was like the most like abusive, like negging, like weird, twisty fucking language patterns you've ever fucking seen. And I see right through that shit because I have a narcissistic ex that's a diagnosed narcissist. So I know what that shit looks like. And she was like, I expect this kind of behavior from like, from little girls, not grown women who are running 7-figure businesses. Like you guys need to buy this retreat right now. Like I can't believe that you're not going to answer the call to rise. Like it was insane. I was like, and I talked to these other girls and I was like, I cannot believe you guys are buying this shit. Like, because we weren't going to buy. And then she posted this post and then so many people bought. It was crazy. And I was like, dude, that shit is never going to work on me. Go fuck yourself. Right. So I didn't buy. And that was kind of like the beginning of the end. That's when I started to kind of get kicked out of this container. And in this space, I will also tell you that she, she did some like pretty egregious things. Like on like the last coaching call that we had, she pulled up my personal page on my Facebook page and was pointing to pictures of me and my husband and telling me like in the pictures, right? Like what that my husband was like totally checked out and that he was like not present for me and that he wasn't the support system that I needed to, get from 7 figures to 9 figures. And that, he was entertaining other women, like all of this crazy ass fucking shit. Like no evidence of this stuff, guys. Like these are not things that I was saying. These are things that she was ascertaining psychically from the pictures that she was looking at of my husband's profile. Okay. So not cool, right? Not cool. That's why I left. Okay. And when she went to Sedona with all of these people, she channeled in and became this bumblebee entity. I don't know, guys, there's a long fucking rabbit hole of this shit. And I got to get to the fucking point. Okay. So over the weekend, I talked to a colleague. They did a retreat. She didn't go on this retreat, but the bunch of other people did. They went to a retreat in Greece. Okay. So in Greece, she went completely ballistic and basically turned this into a whole fucking scene, right? A whole fucking scene that people were out to kill her. Okay. And freaked the attendees out so bad that they weren't allowed to fucking eat. Okay. So they weren't eating because the emphasis they had infiltrated the food and they were poisoning the food and poisoning the water. And so they were coming after them. These people got so freaked out on this 10-day trip that they ended up, half of them ended up leaving, right? Okay. Ended up fucking leaving. And like, then the other half of them ended up somehow getting on a plane with her and then going to Spain and then going to Florida. And it turned into this 24-day fucking extravaganza, fucking bananas, right? Absolutely insane. Okay. And this, guys, is the power of potency. Okay. When you are extremely fucking potent, you can become a crazy fucking bumblebee cult leading lady and people will still buy from you. People will still fucking pay you because you are extremely fucking potent. Okay. Now, should we use our potency for this kind of nonsense? Right? Should we be using this? No. Silly the fuck not. Okay. But I want to show you the power of potency. And then I want to remind you, as we learned in Spider-Man, that with great power comes great motherfucking responsibility. Okay. You have a responsibility to be an ethical human. You have a responsibility to sell results you do in fact have. You have a responsibility that if you take people on a fucking retreat to feed them, you have responsibility to do what you say you're going to do. So if this retreat is supposed to be a business mastermind, then we shouldn't be ushering in a new energy of fucking bumblebee land. We should be working on our businesses. Okay. So potency is extremely powerful, but this is something that you've got to tap into, right? That's something you've got to really tap into that frequency and really fucking connect and understand how to use this. And the fact is, if you're afraid to use it, because you're afraid you might turn into a bumblebee, then there's probably a reason why you're not embodying this. But let's talk a little bit about this piece of how you can do this in your business and how this actually works, okay? Because potency is something that I learned about way, way, way before coaching land, okay? Because I learned this in bartender land. One of the things that I taught my baby bartenders when they were first starting was to make a really strong, memorable first impression behind the bar. So I want you guys to all imagine, you guys want to play bartender with me today? You guys want to play bartender? I want you to imagine that I own a bar, okay? And someday I will. Someday I will, okay? It will happen, I promise, okay? So let's say that I own a bar and I hired all of you guys. All of you guys just got hired and you guys are all new baby bartenders and you're coming to train, okay? And you're scared because you don't know what you're doing. You don't know where your butthole is. You don't know how to bartend. You don't know anything about liquor. Okay. And you're nervous to be in front of all these customers and all of the things. Okay. The first thing that we're going to work on is not product knowledge. It's not going to be talking about cocktails. It's not going to be talking about you learning all the liquor on the back bar or the computer. It's going to be talking about the guest. Okay. It's going to be talking about guest experience because guest experience is the most important thing fucking behind the bar. It's the most important thing because it doesn't matter if you can make the best cocktail in the whole fucking world if no one is sitting at your bar top. So as baby bartenders, right? The very most important thing that you need to learn how to do is build rapport. And this is what potency is, okay? Because I want you to think about how many times you've been to a bar or a restaurant in your life. Okay, how many times have you been to a bar or restaurant? I mean, like thousands of times you've done this. How many bartenders or servers do you actually remember? Okay. Probably not very many because most of them don't make a good impression. Most of them just do their jobs. They just check the box and they move the fuck on. The most important thing that you need to do as a member of the service industry is to make a really potent impression when you are working with this guest so that they become your regular. Okay. When you want to build regulars, the most important thing that you do is make an impression on people. If you don't make an impression, they're not going to remember you because they're going to go to thousands of bars and restaurants throughout their entire life. Right? So you only remember people that make an energetic, emotional impression. So there's lots of different ways to do this, right? But this is you really honing your skills and your persona as a bartender. Okay, so one of my personas, like my persona as a bartender was like the mean bitch, right? Okay, so like I got to be the mean bitch and it was super fun. And I specialized in being the mean bitch specifically for couples and traveling businessmen. Okay, because that was kind of the vibe of the bar that I was working at. Is like I worked in the high-end bar inside the casino. So we had a lot of couples coming in on dates, right? And we had a lot of traveling businessmen who kind of, quite honestly, like missed their wives, right? So they would be traveling quite a bit. They were like always there for like the third week of the month. Okay, so like I knew all of their names. And when these traveling businessmen would come in, I would yell at them when they came in the door, just like their wife would when they got home. And I'd be like, John, what the fuck? Like, where have you been all day? You're late. Like, you were supposed to be here half an hour ago. Like, what have you been doing? Oh, you were working late. Okay. And I would be kind of mean to him and he would laugh and we would have this nice little banter. And I'd be like, I already ordered your dinner and it's fucking getting cold, right? And you're not getting any dessert if you don't eat all of your fucking vegetables. Okay. So I would nag them and bitch at them just like their wives did. And they totally loved it. And I made such an impression on them because I wasn't just sitting there like being nice and being a boring ass bitch, right? Like I was giving them the thing that they missed. I was giving them that energy, right? This is potency. This is something where I am creating a memorable experience. Potency is derivative of the client process, the client steps of service. And when you can create potency at each one of these levels, people remember you. Okay, so this is something, guys, like that I say to you all the time, full butthole transparency, is that it is my prerogative, it is my intention to ruin you for all other coaches. Okay, that's my goal. Every event that I throw, every interaction that we have, every coaching call that I put you on, every fucking group coaching call that we do, every program that I build, I sit there and I ask myself, how could I ruin them for all other coaches, right? That is one of the questions in every event that we build. What are we doing inside of this event to ruin you for other fucking events? That's what we're doing, okay? Because I want you to come to a Wonder Retreat and feel that frequency of the potency of like, oh my God, this is so amazing. This is so engaging. This is so enthralling. I've learned so much. I've gotten such incredible results. Why would I ever buy from anybody else? And here's the kicker. I do want you to buy from someone else because I want you to walk across the bridge and I want you to go buy from one of those big hat manifesting girls or those pink, white, and taupe banner bitches or a bro marketer. I want you to go buy from one of them. And I want you to have the experience that you have. And I want you to come screaming back to me saying, oh my God, Nicole, I missed you so much. I'm so glad that you're let me back in. I don't want to ever go to one of those summits ever the fuck again. Right, bitch, get back in here. Okay, get right back under the Wonder Wing where you fucking belong, where you have a coach that actually gives a shit about you, a coach who actually knows your name, actually knows what the fuck you sell, and is actually selling you concrete fucking strategies that help you to build your business and get clients. And I'm actually delivering on what the fuck I said I was going to do. And I'm also going to feed you while I do it, right? I'm not going to fucking starve you out for fucking 3 days in a fucking hotel room in Palm Springs. Okay. So it's really understanding that my intention behind everything I do is to ruin you for other coaches by being way fucking better. That's what potency is. Okay. And it ripples through everything that you do and everything that you say, because it's not just what you're doing and saying, it's who you're being. And you're being your whole true self unapologetically. That is the starting block for potency. But then you also have to think about the client experience. Okay. So this is a little exercise, a little actionable step, okay, in your business, right? And this is actually part of the first module that you have inside of Nonstop Notifications, inside of the client attraction program. Okay. It's called a unicorn client journey. And I will tell you, inside of Nonstop, we break down the unicorn client journey into tiny little micro steps. And that is so fucking important. Okay. Step by step by step. But this is derivative of what I created inside of Bartender Land to create regulars, which is steps of service. This is normal. Every restaurant has steps of service of like you walk in the door, the maitre d' greets you, you talk to the hostess, they take your coat, they put you on the wait list, blah, 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 right? They walk you through the entire steps of service. And so that's how I build every single program that I do is with steps of service, right? And now we get really, really fine tuned with that inside of Nonstop. But this is an exercise that you can be doing and looking at very small things. So say something like this, right? Okay, like, you know, it's just 100 wonderful ways. But what am I doing to ruin you for all other fucking lives, right? I'm asking myself that question. When I'm fucking throwing a Wonder Retreat, I'm asking myself, what am I doing to ruin you for all other coaches? Okay, at every single step of the process. So what am I doing in that sales page? Okay, if you guys haven't seen the sales page yet, for the Wonder Retreat, you need to go check it out, okay? Because it's fucking beautiful, right? It's fucking beautiful. It's all Nightmare Before Christmas themed. It's so cool. There's like a carousel in there with like a whole fucking story. You get to have like the vibration of it. You get to feel the feelings along the way. Yes, you get all your questions answered. Yes, you buy the thing. Of course, that's what a sales page does. But it's not just a sales page. It's a fucking experience. It's a buyer experience. That's potency. Okay, it's taking a basic bitch sales page and taking it to the nth degree, right? And making it something that's memorable. And people say it all the time. They're like, oh my God, have you guys seen Nicole's new sales page? And they come to me and they're like, how did you do that? How did you build that sales page like that, right? It's like, oh my God, I saw your sales page and it was fucking incredible. That's potency in a sales page, right? Okay, so do you see that? Is that we could take literally every single step of your client journey and add a layer of potency to it. So this is what I want you to do. I want you to look at your entire client journey step by step by step. Okay. I want you to break it all the fuck down. And I want you to ask yourself, how could I increase the potency of each one of these steps? Okay. Because when you do that, you start to elevate the experience and you start to create something that's above and beyond what other people are doing. And this is exactly how I built Wonder Retreats. This is exactly how I came up with how I do my virtual events. It's a different experience than what you have with any other coach. And that's because I've gone to 5-day challenges. I've gone to summits. I've done all that shit and it sucks and it's boring. So I don't do sucky, boring things because I don't like attending them. So it's like, okay, we're going to create this really enthralled fucking sales page that has this incredible theme and you're going to feel all the feelings about it. But then we're also going to give you these little mini actionable steps inside of the retreat that actually help you to close clients while we're at the retreat, because I want you to make money while we're there, right? Like that's the whole fucking point, is to get into that 7-figure frequency to close clients and to believe in yourself a little bit more each day that you can do this. So we add in those layers. So instead of it being boring ass lectures, which is in what's in most virtual events, instead of boring ass lectures, there's actually engagement points in here. There's actual steps where you are taking action and doing the work, but you're also like having fun doing it because everybody else is doing it. And I know it's so much easier to do things when it's fun and it's like activating and it's exciting and we're tethering everything to a fucking theme because it helps you to understand things at a deeper level, but it also helps people to remember and retain. Okay, so that ascension becomes a choice. Yes, do I want you to buy nonstop? Do I want you to buy whatever the fuck I'm selling at the end of the retreat? Of course I do. Okay, I'm not going to tell you that I don't want you to buy the next thing. Of course I do. That's why you're here. But I'm giving you a tiny taste of what it's like to work with me, but I'm also helping you to get a result, not just fucking selling you smoke and mirror bullshit like most fucking people do, because that's what sets me apart. That's what makes me and my events more potent than other coaches' events, because you actually get results while you're at them and you actually retain the information and you can get those micro results even if you don't ascend. But ascension is not necessary. You don't have to ascend because it's not a fucking cult. You don't have to ascend. You get to choose it, and you're choosing to ascend not because you need to, but because you want to. You have a desire for more. I'm not coming in here and baiting and switching you and saying, hey, I'm going to help you to build out this client closing mini offer. You come, you pay, you go to the retreat, and I don't teach you anything. And then I'm like, you'll get your client closing mini offer when you buy the $10,000 thing. I don't do that. That's what most coaches do. I don't do that shit. Okay. So I'm ruining you for all other coaches. And that's what my intention is. So does that make me a cult leader? I mean, you can say whatever the fuck you want, right? Okay. But I'm here to help people to get fucking results with this. And this is something that for me is really important because I want to put money in the hands of good people doing good things. And I don't want to be part of the fucking coaching pyramid scheme problem that we're seeing with these crazy ass fucking people who are literally fucking hurting people and causing fucking trauma in their fucking events so that they can charge you to fucking heal that trauma after the fact. That is fucked up. Okay. That is fucked up. And I stand against that shit. I'm not fucking here for it. Okay. So that's the tea today, guys. I hope that you had a little bit of fun today learning about potency and how you can specifically integrate this stuff into your business. If you haven't got a ticket to the Wonder Retreat, what are you doing? You're sleeping. Get your ass into the Wonder Retreat. We're opening the bonus group on Friday. So you're going to get all of the bonus group stuff, but I'm going to be teaching you how to create a client closing mini offer that's going to help you to have clients closing in your world every single day so that you create a monetized audience full of people who buy and buy again, not because they need to, but actually because they want to, right? Okay. Because no coercion needed, no nasty fucking manipulation techniques, no starving you out, no Kool-Aid required. Okay. Just energetically aligned social selling strategies using the personality, the communication test called the disc. So get your ass into the fucking Wonder Retreat. But I'm heading over to Money Making Unicorns right now. Money Making Unicorns coming in motherfucking hot, right? Because we're going to talk a little bit about how we're going to be specifically applying potency to different parts of your funnel and how you can do this in such a way that feels really energetically aligned with your core values, so that your business really sets itself apart and we create some competitive edge with that potency. All right, guys, thanks for joining me for another episode of the 100 Wonderful Ways to Get More and Better Clients. We will see your bitch asses next Tuesday.